Welcome back to another episode of Lizzie One-to-One. Yes, 2021, brand new episode. And I've only got KIOKO, a Birmingham-based reggae ska band, joining me today. They've had the likes of UB40 hold them very, very high. So yes, let's get to know them. Let's join me, because let's be honest, we haven't had a great start to 2021, so I'm sure they can uplift us a little bit. Feel free, while you're there, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, if you feel like it, at the end of the day, it's your choice. But yeah, don't forget to follow me on MIXCLOUD too. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking time out. I don't know if it's right to say busy schedule with what's going on right now, but thanks for saying yes.
For the band it's not, but personally I'm very busy.
I know you were telling me about, is it 4 weeks, do you say? Till
about that, yeah. To the due date anyway. So so I'm a bit of a madman at the moment doing DIY and.
Are you excited though?
Throwing stuff out. Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's a magical time.
Of course, you're part of it. Is it still a 7-piece? Hopefully, no one's left. A 7-piece band.
Well, I don't know, because it always is someone has left, so we've just got on with that, but we haven't. That was kind of like last year, and then the pandemic kind of hit, so we haven't done many things without. We've just been getting on with what we're doing internally, lots of writing, bits of recording that we can do at home, but obviously it's not the same as studio. But then we've got different people that come along and play with us, so we've got different kind of couple keys players and percussion players who are good friends of ours, so kind of depends on availability and the stage sizing. And then
I really want to see you live, so when the pandemic and the COVID situation's happening, because just by watching the videos, music videos, and also when you're live, for example, you've played at Glastonbury, which is amazing. I got these deadly roots, you don't know where I'm from. I got these deadly roots, you don't know. Everybody's got the story to tell. There's so much desperation, people live. Introduction stage. So, how did you all come together? Because obviously, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, tell me. Is it KIOKO?
You've nailed it.
Yes. So, how did you all come together? Because I saw a piece where it mentioned college. I don't know if everybody's met at college.
The majority of us have kind of like the nucleus of the band. So, like me, John, Ben, Matt, and Lars were all the same age in the same school year. Yeah. So, a couple of them met at school at King's Orton Boys School.
Oh, wicked.
In Birmingham. And then there was a link over to me and Lars, who played brass and trumpet and trombone. And then we the band was already kind of going. And then I just started at college with Lars. And Lars was like, are you going to do it? And I was like, well, are you going to do it? Kind of like, I'll do it if you do it. And then we kind of did. And I wanted to join a band. And it was totally different to what it is now. And it had a different name. And it was very...
Oh, go on. Tell us. What was the name?
It was Tempting Rosie, the band was, a very long time ago.
So what made you make that shift towards the other name?
I think when we got a bit older and we kind of developed the sound a bit and we were working with a few different people, and we kind of just wanted to move on from that kind of, because we just were a party band. We just turned up and just like had a laugh and didn't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah, but you do take that. You bring that kind of vibe where it's really uplifting, but at the same time, if you really listen to your lyrics, there's a message, a key poignant message in them. Yeah,
I think we've just kind of grown up a bit and got a bit more serious about what we're talking about. It's life, isn't it?
For example, a recent track you've released, A Message to the Don. So let's talk about that a second. So who came up with the idea and why?
Loz came up with it primarily and just said, like, guys, I've got this track that I've just had for a little bit. And I think a couple of us had heard it. I hadn't personally heard it, which is a bit weird because we share a lot of music anyway when we're doing writing. And he just said, look, I've got it and I think it's appropriate for the time. Do you want to just knock it out? And we were like, yeah, let's just do it. So we kind of fast-tracked it. We all kind of jumped into a studio while we could in one of these kind of common between lockdown breaks things where it was apparently it's all right to go outside, and we kind of jumped in together and got in there and did it. And
well, it's all confusing. It's all you don't know where you're coming or going sometimes.
Yeah, I think we just know now because it's locked down. So it's a shame really, because it just restricts us from doing good stuff like that and putting out good stuff like that.
So another thing, which is, I think, it's got to be something that's quite high when it comes to highlights in your career so far, where UB40, you were at, I think I was reading an article and it said you were at Birmingham Music Awards, you're performing, and then they ended up spotting you. And they said, well, would you like to... I mean, is that how it goes? Or?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, we did the first Birmingham Music Awards at the Glee Club in town, and they were picking up Lifetime Achievement Awards. So a few of them were going to be knocking around to pick that up and kind of put some get some faces into the event and that. And we got a kind of a call. Someone had dropped out from performing, so we got a call about 4 days before from Joe Jeffries and said, "Do you want to come and perform?" We're like, "Yeah, that would be great." She's like, "Oh, well, UB40 are picking up this award. It'd be really great if you did one of their tunes." And we were like, "Right, what can we do?" In 4 or 5 days, put it together, and we did 1 in 10, and they kind of loved it. And there was a big power cut in the venue, and it was just so we just had to keep playing because that's just what you do. Loads of people left, and then UB40 stayed, so we had a chat with them, and they'd kind of seen us at a couple of shows, I think, before, and some reps from there, and then they just said, yeah, and then they initially asked us to do a couple of shows with them, so we did a big thing in Bristol at the Harbourside Amphitheatre, which was really nice, and then we did Royal Albert Hall with them, and it kind of just went from there.
That is, I mean, that itself, just to be asked, and then you featured, haven't you, on one of their tracks? Yeah,
the 2-year anniversary was yesterday, actually. You Don't Call Anymore is their... Sorry, You Haven't Called is theirs, and You Don't Call Anymore is our kind of version, which Matt did a lot of work on and went, so we've kind of put our spin on their material. So it's great to do some collabing with them and be in the studio with them, yeah.
And they've been a huge supporter of you because they've always... There were crowds saying, like, you know, you're basically on the brink of being able... I mean, it's up to... I don't know what your aspirations are. Are you looking to go more... Have you travelled a lot with the band when it comes, like, not just England? Have you ventured off anywhere else?
We've done a couple of things abroad. We've gone and played in Ibiza, and we played a festival in Greece and in Zante, and
nice.
We've gone to Amsterdam with UB40, and we were scheduled to go back to Holland and Belgium.
You got some stories about that?
Kind of
what was the Amsterdam one like?
It was wicked. It was really good. Like, it was really surreal because, you know, we knew the gig was sold out. You think, well, it's 6,000 people. If we go out there at 7:30, knowing what kind of British crowds are like, they just turn up for the headline band. So we're like, oh, if we played to like 500 people, that'd be really good. But then we walked out to 5,500 people because people just are really good at being on time for gigs. And it was massive arena. It was really great.
That is amazing. And you've also done a cover, Volume 1, which you can check out as well on Spotify, MIXCLOUD, all of their streaming platforms, where did they invite you, UB40, to go in their studios to record that?
I think we were going to record it anyway. We were working with Jamal Edwards at SPTV, and he kind of challenged us to do a kind of thing. But we've kind of done a bit of rehearsing in one of their spaces anyway, and we were just like, can we use the studio?
I mean,
and we were like, yeah.
Just cash, you know, we were just, you know, going into their studios like it's a normal thing, you're saying it. So you've obviously established a good professional or friendship maybe with the band. Yeah,
well, I mean, we get on with them really well. They've looked after us, you know, for a couple of years now. We've been on, you know, all over the country with them. We've been abroad with them. They stand at the side of the stage a lot of the time and watch our stuff. Some of them have come down and heard us rehearse in the studio. It's just nice to be able to kind of learn from them and see how they go, and then be able to go out and do what we do, you know.
And also, they're probably seen, when they were your age as well, they're probably seen a reflection of themselves and being able to relive that in a way.
I think so. I don't know if we're as hardcore as they are, though. I think we're a little bit more reserved.
Times are different then, weren't they?
Well, maybe they just don't. Maybe they just think we just can't. We haven't got it for the party, but we've shown them a few nights.
I've got to. I remember. I've got a story about them because I didn't realise I was sat next to them. I went to, you know, Vital, the rapper. Yeah. Well, Wolverhampton based now. He lives in London. But I was waiting for him because I went to his pilot show at BBC. He invited me down, and I sat on one of the sofas, and I didn't realise UB40 was literally in front of me until I left the building, and I was like, oh, you do know that was UB40, don't you? I said, what? I said, yeah, that's my fault for not looking up. I was on my phone disgusting young generation.
You've missed the boat.
I know, terrible person. I feel like apologising.
Hopefully there'll be an occasion in the future. Hopefully this year. Be nice.
Oh, wouldn't it just to even go out somewhere to eat would be quite nice.
Yeah, I kind of probably quite agree, but yeah, fingers crossed. Got everything crossed. There's something can happen this year.
Same. I mean, I want to see you live as well, which would be another bucket list thing to do. But you've also done amazing things. Like I previously said, Glastonbury, O2, Institute. Was it Institute? I know it was to do with BBC introducing.
We've done a few places abroad. We've done academies and institutes, and it's.
What's been your best one?
It's nice to play at home.
What's been your favourite?
Ever best gig.
Yes, best gig, and you got to tell me stories from it. Don't just sugarcoat it. Like, oh yeah, it's good.
Well, my favourite Birmingham show is probably the Academy 2 that we did a couple of years ago. That was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think each gig has a lot of different things. And if you've played places before, so like one of my favourite venues is Concord 2 in Brighton, and we always have a good gig there. But I just think the whole aura of the place is just awesome. It's like a small venue. It's packed. Yeah. People get packed in, but it's on the seafront and.
Oh, that sounds nice.
We always have a good time. I think it's one of those where it's far enough that you can't really drive back a lot of the time. So we know we're going to have to stay and hang out. Each kind of place has different characteristics which make it great. Or really rubbish.
But it's, yeah, there's always a rubbish story, isn't there? I mean, you can tell me that one if you want, or you can hold that one back.
No, I'll hold the rubbish ones in.
You don't, yeah. Does it involve a fan? Hopefully not.
No. Our fans are generally very, very nice.
That's good then. I mean, let's just talk through your streams. I mean, I've got a list here of what you had. For example, about 32,000 on Sing Like I. So that's pretty. That's really good.
That's all right, wasn't it?
Just a bit. Tired of Lying. I mean, that's a favourite of mine. I do like that. 54,000 streams on that one.
We're very pleased with that. That's one of the KIOKO. That was one of the first songs we ever did. So tired of lying for you. So tired of lying for you. When we kind of changed over to KIOKO, so that kind of sticks with us a lot, and that was one of the first we worked with a friend of ours, Spider Johnson, who's been with us for even just before KIOKO when we met him. That was a long time ago, and that holds a bit of good stead with us. I think that means quite a lot to us. That was kind of.
And then, like I said, you've done the cover, which has had a few streams as well. But I mean, 54,000. I mean, even 11,000 on Queen of the Dance Floor. I mean, that's quite
good. That was like a lockdown single as well. Yeah. So we were kind of like, oh yeah, great.
I was going to say that's quite recent to Message to the Dawn, isn't it? It's kind of near that kind of wavelength of releases.
Yeah.
I was going to ask as well, what you always seem to release? Is it 4 sometimes? I've realised in a section you always release.
All our EPs are 4 tracks.
4 tracks, yeah. So I was going to ask you about that because a lot of people try. Sometimes they'll limit it or they'll put loads. Is it to do with quality rather than quantity?
I think there's kind of a couple ways of looking at it. I don't know if we ever deliberately mean to pick 4, but maybe it's just a number that we're kind of used to working with, and that's the kind of target, and we know we can get stuff done in a time frame and get it out. But also it's kind of the balance of whether you want to give everyone everything or you want to kind of keep them wanting more.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's the best answer. I mean, that was perfect. Well done.
I'll put that down. Tick in the box there.
Tick in the box. Have you got any rituals before you go on stage? Do you do anything to psych yourself up, or do you already have that kind of energy before? Because I love the little dances you do when you're there on the brass instruments and stuff, getting involved.
I think we've all got a kind of our own kind of thing that we kind of prepare. It kind of does depend on the gig and depends what needs doing, because I mean, for me, I do a lot of like the tech stuff. So if anything last minute needs doing, I have to go in and try. And if it's a bit like with the tech crew and things, but I do kind of try and have like 20 minutes or half an hour if I can get it. Just kind of put my phone down, warm up trombone, warm up my voice, and don't know, maybe have a sip of water or a sip of bev or something, and then just kind of relax and let everything flow a bit kind of more naturally. Stretching is quite good. A bit of yoga, a bit of stretching is quite good for me as well. So that's kind of me. But everyone else kind of does it in their own way. Some people are a little bit get stuff done really early and just relax. Like I try and get stuff done and then just kind of relax into it. And then others are just like, well, now we'll just get ready at 2 minutes to, and then we'll just go and play a really good gig.
So what advice? I mean, that sounds great to me. I think even in lockdown, you can take that advice. Do a bit of stretching, help your mental health.
Right. Definitely.
Exactly. Big dynamic, obviously different personalities from different backgrounds. What advice would you give to people that are starting out? Because you see a lot of bands, they don't stick together, and longevity is it's strange to say, but longevity-wise, it's a hard thing for some reason for people to stay together. And what advice would you give to people?
I mean, it helps that we're all really good friends. We've been playing music together, the majority of us, for, let me work this out. I played my first gig when I was 17, and I was just turned 30, so like 13 years or so, or 14 years or so, and a couple of them like a year or so before. So it just helps that we're actually like really good friends. Anyway, you know, we've got that outside of the band where we can hang out and we don't actually have to talk music. We don't actually have to talk about the band. We can just be bros together, you know. I think that helps. Great. And I think just being on that same kind of understanding of working together, that there's no kind of other agendas or anything. We just all kind of work together and still can help each other out outside of it. I think is quite important.
And do you all contribute to the writing side of it, or is there a particular person that writes the music? And
no, we're all writing at the moment. I think we have done for a long time, and it's just you know, that's great. And sometimes you can collab, but then because there's so many other people to bounce off, we've all got loads of different influences from varying genres. So if you kind of know someone's got a bit of a speciality or an interest in something, you think, oh, I think this would be good. We can take it to each other, or we can take it to everyone and say, I've got this idea, or just, you know, I've got this song, I'd like us to play it, can we play through it and just see how it goes? And then if anyone's got any improvements, then we can kind of work on it together.
How old were you when you first picked up your first instrument? Can you remember when? I'm not saying you're old. I was like, can you remember?
I can. I was 9, so...
Wow, 9.
How long ago was that? 21 years ago. I was 9 when I first picked up a trombone.
It's young, isn't it? 9. You must have been... That's to find music that early. You must have been obviously passionate about it as you got older then.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was one of those things. I was sent to music lessons as a kid. I don't ever remember choosing to go, but I don't remember not choosing to go.
I mean,
and it was a complete fluke.
I mean, you were asked to be in the band. Well. You were asked to be in the band. You were told to go into music lessons. Is this what you want to do, Josh?
I think so. But I think, it's a complete fluke, really. I mean, I walked into my first brass lesson at age 9. But my first tutor was a guy called Jim Gray, an old Scottish guy. There was like 7 mouthpieces on a piece of cloth on a table, and he was like, right, I'm going to go and get a cup of tea, try all these out and see what fits your face the best, your mouth the best, and then come back. And I said, oh, that one. He's like, right, you're going to play trombone. And then that was it. And
see, all the places you've got to go, the people you've met, it was meant to be. I don't know if you believe in that, but that's...
Maybe it was. That was it. Well, I chose my own destiny, didn't I, really?
Yes. Imagine... You could do a film about that. Choose your future.
I mean, we could do one scene. I don't know if we'll get a feature-length film out of it.
Look, Queen Gambit's about chess. I mean, that has been a hit. You can do one about trombones.
Maybe we'll do that after the album deals and
Shits in Miramax. It's my feature film. Have it.
Yeah.
UB40 will be in it. You've actually had someone, haven't you? An acclaimed actor in one of your music videos.
A guy called Tom Sangster, yeah.
Game of Thrones, he was in, wasn't he?
Yeah, Game of Thrones. So I know him from Love Actually with Nanny McPhee.
That's probably, I'm not going to lie, same. I've never watched Game. People are going to be like watching this, oh my gosh, 2 people I've never watched it. I've just never really got into it.
It's pretty bad. I mean, we've had like 10 months. It's passed me by, I think.
about that music video. Did you contact him or did someone know him to then get him involved?
Well, I think we kind of half knew him. Another friend of ours, Jack Montgomery, who's also in the video, who plays the other guy in the video, was housemates with Tom. And they'd been to a couple gigs and we were like, well, we're filming and we need some actors and you guys are actors, so do you want to be in a music video for us? And they were like, yeah. And he was very nice, and we paid him in pizza and beers, I think.
That's such a good way. That's it. You want to go
That's the standard KIOKO currency, that is, beers and pizza, I think.
I think that's a great way of living, to be honest with you. I mean, I could live off that. Anyone else could. I mean, especially during lockdown. Just do some work for you. Done. So, well, I know you had a few tour dates as well. I was looking, I was going out 2021. I'm still in a national lockdown. You had a few, obviously, like a UK tour going on. So, are you still focusing on, obviously, if we come out of this maybe March, April time, are you still looking to venture down that avenue?
I think we'd love to play a gig in 2021. We just don't ever know what's going to happen. It's been so much to-ing and fro-ing, and is it going to be allowed, a venue's going to be allowed to open and things, and they're going to allowed to have the capacity of people, or is there going to be the demand there? So it's kind of tough, really. So I think we're focusing on just kind of getting music down and getting ideas together and getting some projects together and just trying to do something we know we can definitely do, that people will listen to music.
And can you tease any tracks maybe that you've been writing, or do you want to keep that close to your chest? It's up to you. For the fans.
We've got a couple of things, and we might have a couple of covers or something that we're going to throw out there, or we've got some good original material, and we've definitely in the last few months been able to level up the writing. There's been a couple of changes in the band in the last year or so, and also just because we've been able to spend a lot more time dedicated to just doing it. We're not having to fit it round a lot of the time around hectic schedules and gigs and things, and it's been actually, because we've done so much gigging in the last few years, we needed a bit of a break actually to do some writing. So whilst it's unfortunate we can't actually go out there, it's been really beneficial the last kind of 10 months or so for writing and our production styles and our individual kind of flair for tracks and things. So we've got lots of material there. It's just when we can get it all down properly, and if we can do it together, or if we're going to have to do remote things for a long time.
I know. Well, I hope we can all come together again and it drops down.
We've all got our fingers crossed. We've had a few kind of offers that people are ambitiously trying to book gigs and things, which is great, but it's just whether it's realistic for them to
I mean, that's a huge positive, isn't it? The fact people are knocking on your door being like, come on, already pre-booking you.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very weird time for everyone, and for us it's been very, very strange. Last year we did 4 gigs, and then for a lot of people that was a lot of gigs.
Because
people are stuck on none. 2 of them were in January, so that's
wow.
so
this is madness, isn't it? And it's like, what?
So hopefully we can kind of get back to normal,
One Kiss, which is one of your covers, had 32 streams again, which is pretty good. Have you ever had anyone reach out that you've covered?
We did Georgia Smith as well. I don't think anyone's reached out. It's really strange though. Predator is the other art who produced the Georgia Smith original.
Yeah.
I lived where I used to live in Brum, and used to come to where I worked.
That is madness. What?
In Brum, but I also served him in another job. I used to work in retail in Birmingham as well, and I was just like,
it makes you realise how small the world is.
Well, it was very strange. Well, I used to work with Ben in retail from the band in town a couple of years ago, and he'd come into the like, do you reckon he knows that we've covered this song? Do you reckon he knows who we are? Nah, he didn't know who we are. We're just working. Nah.
We don't know. Maybe he did.
But then you never know. He might have, and he might just not have said anything.
Yeah, he might have actually known that's where you work, so that's why he came down.
That'd have been a bit weird, I think.
That probably would have been. Let's pretend that's the reason why.
He knew where 2 of the band worked, and then he wanted to just come in and purchase some things from their store.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe they'll give me a discount. Well, you should have opened your mouth next time.
We probably did,
not
actually.
Him. He should have opened his mouth and said it. But so what is the future for the band? for people. I know with this, forget COVID's there a second. What does it look like? What are you hoping? Have you got a bucket list of things you'd like to do with the band for the future?
We want to get out a gig. We want to do some festivals. We want to put out an EP or an album. It's kind of up in the air. We've got a kind of lot of ideas of projects that we want to do, and we're having to chop and change plans. But we've got lots of new material, lots of fresh, original material, some covers to spice things up, and it's just a matter of time until they're ready.
Exactly. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out to be on my podcast.
My pleasure.
I mean, it would have been nice to have a few more of you, but I understand you're the spokesman today.
I am the one in charge today.
You are.
So
you're going to hold that now, aren't you? You're like, I am.
No, just for today. Just on Tuesday.
But yeah, thank you so much. Have a nice rest of the day. I mean, do your stretches if that's what you want to do.
And you do it, some chi, some yoga.
I think I need to.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Look after yourself and tell them I said hello as well.
And you. I will do.